The most critical part in any first aid in a crisis is oxygen. The oxygen is a problem because it's been expensive to have, expensive to maintain. Anyway, this is about oxygen of a different kind. This isn't a small oxygen container. It's like a propane bottle, only it's filled with oxygen. It's used with a Bernzomatic torch. This is a Bernzomatic torch. I think it's a 55,000 or something. Anyway, the valve on here is left-handed, so it only fits the oxygen can. And you simply put it on the can, open the valve, and oxygen comes out. You can cut the hose to any length that you want, or you can leave the hose on and actually just stick the torch in your mouth or something like that if you need to. The primary cause here is that the oxygen bottle can then be used for medical purposes. This is a retail cost of $10. This is a valve of simple design. It's left-handed threads. It just needs, something to stop the flow of oxygen or control the flow of oxygen. It has a tiny little hole. So it doesn't use a regulator at all, it just has a tiny little hole. And that works perfectly well. I've used it. And so you can have that oxygen available in your first aid kit, in your car, or anything. That valve should cost about $5 or so in production for this kind of a purpose if you get enough people buying. So for at retail costs of about $15, you can have a bottle of oxygen in your car, in your house, in your apartment, wherever it is that you think you might need it or might want to have something available for someone who is having a heart attack, someone who cannot breathe. The difference between breathing and a heart attack is primarily a heart attack hurts. Therefore, some screaming, some flailing around, some noises are being made. If a person cannot breathe, they're laying relatively still if you get to that point, and they're not making any noise to speak of at all, because you have to have air in your lungs to make noise come out of your mouth. So you can identify critically and intentionally where oxygen is more important, for instance, than a defibrillator. A defibrillator can cause trouble if you are, if you are not in a situation where you need it. Oxygen, on the other hand, is nearly non-destructive, or you're really not going to hurt anyone with a bottle of oxygen. What happens with oxygen is, if you get too much, your body tends to shut down. You can't move so much, and that will mediate itself. If you just take the oxygen away, that's the only real problem there is to it. It's for a small cost. Anybody can help someone in real trouble. If you are a long way from the emergency room, a bottle of oxygen that you have in your car, that you can just open up the valve and stick the hose in their mouth or their nose or something, makes the difference in a lot of cases what is going to happen to you when you get to the emergency room, if that's where you go. Oxygen is very important to a lot of life-saving techniques, and if you are having a heart attack, for instance, putting oxygen in their lungs is going to mean that they don't have to work nearly as hard with their heart to try to breathe. That gives them a much better fighting chance. So this is something that you really need to think about, something you really need to work with, something you need to do for emergency preparedness. If you want to be prepared for somebody who is, choking, even if you have a choking on a piece of food, if the Heimlich maneuver doesn't work for you, putting oxygen in their mouth will probably make the difference between life and death for them. Try to use a Heimlich maneuver first, but the reality is that oxygen is oxygen, and that's going to make the difference. You should consider it. Consider it. Consider it. Consider it. would consider it, 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 would consider it.